Alright, so this video is not going to exist, but because I need to know how this new lighting setup is, here we are. So let me know in the comments down below how this lighting setup looks. And with that being said, don't forget to hit that like button below and that subscribe button, and let's get started. So I need to talk about something alarming, and it's not something I know I'm the only one seeing. Yet for some reason, I see a lot of videos of what's wrong with Twitter now. Twitter is falling, the downfall of Twitter. And yet, for some weird reason, nobody wants to talk about the topic of the unnecessary gore on Twitter. It's as if, yeah, I know YouTube has its guidelines and everything, but for some weird reason, nobody points this out. I remember the very day there was an uptick in Gore all of a sudden on my page, and I was like, what is going on? Granted, I'll give some creators this. I've seen some creators talk about the fortranification of Twitter, now known as X. However, I've yet to see any of these creators talk about the large amount of gore on Twitter. It's almost as if nobody wants to call out Elon at all. Like, it almost seems like the people that have the time to argue with Elon are arguing over semantics. Things like, I don't know what's in his heart, oh, he didn't mean it like that. But yet, we're not addressing the physical problems that are alarming. Like, I don't even understand it. Gore should not be commonplace on any social media. I shouldn't have to say this in 2024, of all things. I should not have to say this. I shouldn't be scrolling on social media and see a young child getting their brains blown out. It shouldn't be. The very fact that I have gone through YouTube to find this specific video just so I can avoid making it is alarming. Nobody wants to speak to the fact that Twitter is a shitstorm right now. And it's not like we can close our eyes to it and ignore it. But it almost seems like there is zero government oversight. Nobody wants to say anything. Everybody is pretending as if everything is all right. It's one thing to have indoctrination where you're following the algorithm down a pipeline and you're convincing yourself more and more of beliefs, which you can argue that, oh, it's not their fault. They don't lead people down this pipeline. They don't do this. They don't do that. But when I am casually scrolling and I see people dying on my feed without subscribing or registering to see such, that has nothing to do with philosophy. That has nothing to do with views. I should not be seeing such. It's not an entitlement issue. It's not a private issue. There should be obvious regulations against this. Granted, you would hear those say, oh, it's a private platform. If you don't like it, get off. There are children on the internet, whether you like it or not. Not everybody needs to just casually see death up and down. Granted, I know some people feed off trauma and they fuel it, but usually they have their own echo chambers. Like, these people are reserved to a specific corner of the internet. I should not be against my will seeing things I don't need to see. It's literally nonsense like this that led me to blocking Elon and like a lot of accounts on Twitter. And with that being said, I know when I use Twitter like a normal human being, I should never be 3 swipes away from a beheading video. We are not in 2013. I don't even know why I should be saying this. I don't know, for some weird reason, creators that have a bigger platform, for some reason, they all act as if it's commonplace. Like, Elon has been anti-this, he's been this Semitic, he's been phobic this, he's been this, that. Those are things you can argue against in terms of philosophy. Keep that there. Address the physical issues. There are children. We don't want to see rubbish. Get the rubbish off the platform. The second you start addressing the physical things people are seeing, the rest will handle itself. If you start handling the cockroaches one after the other, they would go off the platform. By the time you start allowing the worst denomination of society on your platform and you give them free reign. I'm not saying any of this to say, oh, it's a one-time thing. The video was reported and it was taken down. When you report the videos, 9 out of 10 times, you get a message saying that it doesn't violate any guidelines. It's so freaking weird. Like, I'm not making a case against the blatant, very blatant racism that has been on the app lately. That philosophical argument that you could make about, oh, you don't know what's in their heart while they're typing nigger in all capital letters. You can keep that argument. What I'm talking about is common decency. I should not have to see gore if I don't subscribe to such. The funny thing about it is that you have your pages that are baiting people with pure, unadulterated gore, and then you have your subtle pages that are hinting at gore so somebody in their comments can post the video. It's such a weird mix of, oh, we're teasing you with the gore, and it's funny enough, there is a report that specifically addresses gore, but it's as if that function has just stopped working completely. It's so weird that in 2024, I have to say this, that there are certain words you can say and not say on Twitter, like right now, but you can see somebody getting hit by a train. It's not as if these videos clearly are not being reported. You see people posting screenshots of them trying to report these videos, and you always get this video does not violate any guidelines. How? The funny thing about it is I could overload this video with screenshots of actual videos that have been uploaded on X, and you could clearly go there and see that till now, none of those videos have been taken down. And it's so odd to the fact that these pages are more and more emboldened to post this stuff for content farming, because that kind of gore simply gains more and more attraction because the shock factor attached to it, the very desensitized people on the internet that are like maggots, the amount of just provocateurs that will try and get some kind of reaction by resharing or reposting the video. And it's so odd. If this was 2012, 13, I would have understood. But how in the world is there zero regulations against this? The funny thing about this issue is that I'm not even talking about the uptick in the worst humans imaginable coming onto Twitter in the past year. The one thing I'm addressing is the fact that not only are they coming on, essentially what's happening is you're having Elon or bad actors that are being hired, and they're putting their finger on the scale to what gets more and more and more promotion. And it's very odd. Twitter has always had its subsections. This is not that. You've always had your adult section of Twitter that was just there. Adult section. You can't accidentally get there. You have to like a couple posts to get there. You've always had your meme culture. You like a couple posts, you get there. But when nobody subscribes or likes any of these and they just randomly show up, and because they get more engagement, people see, let me go ahead and make my own and or repost it. Because the one thing I'm noticing is that the more and more these videos appear, the more and more recent it looks as if they're becoming. Not in terms of frequency of the videos, but like date and time of when the videos are occurring. The insidious part about it is it started off as somebody would drop a very blatant gore video, and then another person drops an information about the video as if they're adding added context to the video, but yet both of which are not needed to begin with. The video should not be on the platform, and nobody should be educated on such. Yeah, I know. It probably sounds like I'm being oversensitive. I can just close the app. Why do I care so much? Just ignore it and move on. But on a social media platform, a public platform, why does such need to be on here? It might seem like I'm beating a dead horse by even bringing it up, but for some weird reason, this horse has not been touched. It's like an elephant in the room, but you have a large elephant being squeezed into the house in the first place. It was dragged through the house, stomped across the entire walls, and nobody said a peep about it. It's not as if any punishment is making them stop or there's any penalization happening so far. Till now, nobody has mentioned this. It's as if Gore does not exist on Twitter at all. When you see this kind of videos, it's as if they have something personal against Elon. I have nothing against Elon at all. Like, on a personal basis, I could care about him. When you have a publicly trading company and it's on the stock market, there should be some basic human decency attached to companies. I'm not talking about the corporate space being filled with soulless entities, nothing like that. I'm talking about basic humanity, literally common decency. Why on God's green earth should somebody that does not subscribe to Gore be seeing Gore? At the very least, keep that over there. Like, there should be a small subsection. If you want to have it on the platform, it should not be that blatant. There was once a time where things were done under the table. If you want to be a degenerate, there was some shame attached to it. You go be a degenerate over there where you can relinquish in your shame and be yourself to your full with your entire small knit community. But when that small community goes bigger and bigger, it's as if the shame attached to it is no more. Clearly, being somebody that posts on Instagram and having a pretty decent sized page, you will have your obvious trolls that come into your DMs posting your occasional gore. But even with that, you can easily block them and move on with your life. It's one person. You just tell them, yo, this is not funny. I don't appreciate this. If you do it again, you're blocked. They might feel, okay, I'm getting him triggered or some nonsense like that. And then they post it again. They're blocked. That's it. They go back to their little corner. But even Instagram has its, don't get me wrong, Instagram has its nut jobs. There are pages on Instagram that have like 3, 4, 5,000 followers. And they're heavy duty gore. Like next level nonsense. But those are small subsections. The easiest thing I do, I block them, block the page, and move on with my life. I never see their stuff. Never. It's only when somebody from their community wants to troll me and send me their content. And it's a quick and easy resolution. Block them. And the way Instagram is set up now, when you block their page, it blocks every other potential page that they might have created to avoid targeted harassment. Perfect. Good. They exist. They clearly exist. And I'm telling you firsthand, they exist. They're degenerates, but they exist in small numbers. On Twitter, however, it's so weird in the fact that they exist and they're so loud about it. No shame whatsoever. Whenever they post, they know for a fact that it's getting the biggest boost on earth. It's funny when people claim that there's some meme to far-right ideology, pipeline nonsense. But at the end of the day, what that is essentially just what you subscribe to. Whether you subscribe to memes that further your nonsense or you don't. I'm addressing this because this is still under tech. Social media is still under tech. And this should not even be a thing to begin with. Alright, so it's been a while since I've actually started this video, which kind of makes the matter I'm talking about a little worse. Because between when I initially started this video and now, I want to just go ahead and put on the screen some context to what I've been talking about. And these are very recent in the fact that while I was making this video, I took a break, went on Twitter, and I saw what you're currently seeing. And I'm not showing you the graphic things that are being posted there. I would not do that to you. What I'm trying to show is the replies underneath it, that it's being acknowledged that this is negatively impacting people's mental health. It's negatively impacting the world as a whole. It's not something people are seeing because they want to see. It's more something that seems like it's being forced down people's throat. And it almost seems orchestrated in a way that people are actually acknowledging that, yeah, this helps nobody. Why are we all seeing it? But to wrap this up, that's the end of this video. Please don't forget to hit that like button down below and that subscribe button. If there's anything that can be done about it, I don't know if I can individually go and report every post, and that wouldn't put a dent. But if this video can reach somebody that can talk sense into Elon to do the right thing, because it shouldn't be commonplace in this day and age that I even have to say this to begin with. There should be government regulations in place to stop this, even if it's to give them their little corner of the internet or to regulate it a little. do that. But there should be some way to reach out and stop this. But if there's any way this video helped, even if it's a little bit, I would honestly be glad. But with that being said, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and have a good day. Take care of your mental health because it's a scary place out there.